The wasted chick of the day. Take a look. If you look closely here, you will see that no matter how wasted or passed out a girl gets, the phone will never come out of her hand. I was just watching ESPN Women's College Basketball. It's James Madison and Marshall. And it was a good basketball game, just killing time until March Madness kicks in. And I was just noticing how the James Madison coaches, they have their hair pulled back, their men pulled back in like a bun at the top. So they fit in nicely, trying to fit in. They do a good job. And James Madison has this girl player, and her name is Meredith Meyer. And oof, A++, But it's just so hard watching women's college basketball. It just seems like they fall down a lot. And there was a scrum at the end of regulation time. They had an overtime game, and there was, 9, 10 girls on the floor going for the ball. And it just seemed James Madison had 35 turnovers. And I swear half of them were, were falling down and the ball goes out of bounds. I don't know. But my hat's off really to ESPN. I mean, they're incredible. They've done this amazing push towards women's basketball for the equal rights thing and the equal coverage thing and the equal pay thing. They're really, really trying hard at it and doing really, really well at it. I just think they're incredible. I do. I think ESPN is just incredible. The Entertainment Sports Programming Network, which started, back in the 70s, I think. And now look what they do. They're incredibly entertaining and incredibly sporting, obviously. I mean, socially. And they're 30-30 inside stories, personal stories of people. And ESPN Plus is incredible. I swear they've got cameras at every single basketball game, every single women's lacrosse game, ping pong tournaments, swimming tournaments, track and field. They've got everything on ESPN Plus. Wow. Very impressed. Hats off to ESPN. Top-notch job. Okay, the band Phish. Now, 2 things about Phish. Number 1, Trey Anastasio is an incredible guitar player. He's on my list, no question about it. Anybody that opens for the Rolling Stones is going to be on my list. And he was the opener for the Rolling Stones in Durham, 2005. Rolling Stones played there at Wallace Wade Stadium. And I went to that with Brian the Roadie, no less, a cohort of mine at WRDU. And I missed the whole Trey Anastasio set, which I'm sorry about, but, you kind of want to see him with Phish. But the Rolling Stones were just incredible. And I've got this incredibly unrequited love affair with the Rolling Stones. I mean, when they're gone, I just don't know if I could live anymore. And I mean that, and I'll just, they have no idea who I am, but I love them and always have. I've had a lifelong relationship with them. And when they go, I think I'm going to go, at least in my head and my heart. Anyway, no question about it. And I will just continue in the meantime to love them from afar, unbeknownst to them. And the other thing about Phish, the name of the band Phish supposedly comes from the sound a jet makes when it takes off. Supposedly that's Phish. And I always thought of it as just something funny. They just want Phish, F-I-S-H, but they just wanted to spell it funny, P-H-I. Who cares about the name of a band anyway? If they're good, they're good. Doesn't matter what they're called. But, I've got a very special guest on with me, speaking of Phish. And maybe I should say really non-special guest, but if you'll see, how's it going hanging out over there in your little studio or whatever they call it?
Not much. Hanging out, doing nothing. Nice view of my John.
Your John. I figured you'd know that I was hanging out. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, figured that.
Of course you figured that. I figured that.
Well, I figured that you'd figure that I figured that.
Phish.
Of course. Love them. I've loved them for centuries. Because they're centuries old. They're older than I am. Older than you are. Maybe they're the same age. I'm not sure. But no. I was just getting ready to listen to some just a couple of minutes ago.
I know.
Phish is great about their websites and their songs. You can download whatever song you want from whatever show you want. And I always go to the 2012 year because that's when I saw them a couple of times and they were great that year. You know how the bands are, the jam bands, they're up and they're down. You got to catch them on a good night. And if you don't catch them on a good night, it's okay because they're great. So I was looking for a version of Tweezer. You know what I mean?
I do, yes.
12-minute version of Tweezer. And I get it from nugs.net. Take a look here. Nugs.net. And you can find them for free. Phish tracks for free, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to steal from the band. First of all. And second of all, you get a better quality recording. The broomsticks are better. And
let's just listen a little bit.
Yeah.
See? Boom, boom, boom. That's why I love having you on, because I could just relate to you. We've got a...
Okay.
We've got a...
Whatever.
You look like shit, by the way, today. And your ears are getting big. They are. Old man. That's what happens to old men.
Back at you. I wasn't going to say anything.
But that guy's so whatever. But I like him. I really like him. Somehow, for some reason. He's quirky. But back to Phish. It's my favorite story about Phish. At one point in my radio day, I was doing the 420 smoke break, and I was on the air with a guy named Foster, right? 96 Rock, 2012 maybe. And he was the program director. Afternoon show. I'm on the air with the program director, the guy that makes all the rules, and the 420 smoke break was a liberty I was given, and I could pick the 420 smoke break song. So I pulled out Phish one day, and it was a 27-minute version of Tweezer. Loaded it up in the little machine and got ready to play it, and he looked at me. It's my favorite quote of the guy of all time, and he was a good guy. He played along. He tried to play along, even though he wasn't of that ilk, if you know what I mean. And he looked at me and he said, "You're not going to play the whole thing, are you?" Mainstream rock radio station that doesn't play songs more than 4.5 minutes, and I'm getting ready to spend 27 minutes of Tweezer noodling and singing, jamming. And I said, yeah. And he was, all right. Honestly, I think I didn't, even I couldn't do that on a commercial rock radio station. So I think I switched it to Mo that day, but just to get that quote. Hats off, Foster. Thanks for putting up with me, and thanks for trying. Thanks for trying.
I had a dog, his name was Jay.